There's a level in e-commerce where everything starts to click. Your ads will stop feeling random, your results will become consistent, and you can literally predict the results of your ads, so if they are profitable or not. However, most people out there will never reach that level, and that's not because of the product, but it's simply because they haven't found their winning desire. So they never figure out what truly drives performance in the first place, the true winning desire. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually find your winning desire, the one angle that makes your ads actually convert and scale profitably. However, before I'm gonna get into this, who am I? I've been doing e-commerce for 4 years. I scaled my own brand, started it from literally zero. I financed my ad spend because I was a delivery driver and waiter. However, after putting the work in, a few months later, I sold my brand. And now I consult 6-figure brands and help multiple of my guys inside of my school community scaling Ecom hit their first $2,000 a day with brand dropshipping. It's also the first link in the description if you want to check that out. So the truth is, almost everyone is stuck testing the wrong things. They keep changing products, tweaking the landing pages, or copying random creatives. But they never isolate that one variable that actually moves the needle and which will help you find your winning desire that you can actually scale profitably. However, the people that hit the first $10,000 a day, we focus with a system and isolate each variable in the ad to have a feedback loop and to exactly know which angle and which desire is actually winning for your product. And to actually isolate the variables and know why your winning desires perform and why not, you have to set up your ads and create your ads in an exact way. First of all, I literally don't care if you launch a CBO or an ABO, it's all cope. Just depends on the ads. However, I usually like to go about it with the CBO, so campaign budget optimized, right? And now you should do actual research. What do I mean by actual research? Your winning desires should actually be based on an actual research, so manual research. I don't want you to just send a prompt to ChatGPT and call that your research. Obviously, you have to leverage AI, but also simultaneously, you have to search something manually. For example, site reddit.com. Then you type in your product and read through the comments. And you're going into the site of Reddit with the intention of using a checklist. So you create a checklist, literally grab a piece of paper and write down the checklist. And you note down each desire that you read more than one time. And at the end of your manual research combined with the AI, you should have a checklist of multiple desires that are actually targeting people. So let's say you have 5 desires in a checklist, for example. Now you're going to compare them. So you're going to compare the intensity and urgency from each desire. So how urgent do the customers want to reach that desire, right? The outcome. For example, let's say the product was helping them lose their weight. Let's say desire 4 was that they actually want to lose weight because they want to look better in the summer. However, let's say in desire 5, for example, is a woman who is married for literally 20 years. She has a family, she has kids, but the woman feels like the husband, which she loved for a very long time, loses attraction to her. And so in the night she cries because her man just turns to the side and wants nothing to do with her. So in this case, desire 4 is way less urgent than desire 5, and the intensity is not even comparable. Now you re-rank the desires based on the comparison of the urgency, and number 5, for example, in this case is number 1 now, right? And number 4 is in this case number 5. And by now you actually should have the top 3 desires figured out. So what we are going to do is we are going to test the top 3 desires against each other. So literally CBO, ABO, I don't care, it's literally just scope. And now we have the best 3 desires based on urgency. And so we're going to create 3 ad sets. And ad set 1 is the desire 1. Ad set 2, desire 2. And then ad set 3, your third desire. Also, if you actually want to succeed in e-commerce and not just generic advice, make sure to follow my account. It only takes a second. But now another question appears, right? How are we going to test if our desire is actually winning, or if it was just the random concept, or maybe the hook was better? We are going to launch 3 ads in each ad set. However, the concept will literally be the same. So if you decide that you want to create native images to test your desire, each ad set should have native image ads. But if you want to actually test with native video ads, each ad set should have only native video ads. This is also something I was telling one of my friends on the way back from the gym, right? I train a bit. And he told me that he spoke with many people that actually launched different concepts to test the desires. And I thought that was common sense, right? But it actually isn't. Because if there was common sense, there would be way less people losing money on their Facebook ads. However, the same concept is not going to cut it for us. We also need to have the same visuals. Because imagine, right, you have different visuals. Maybe one desire was performing way better because of the scroll stop rate. Maybe the image was way more eye-catching than the other images from the other ad sets. And therefore more people stopped, looked at the ad and actually decided to click. So we have to eliminate the variable of visuals being the actual reason for the performance. But the visuals should all relate to the desires. So you have to find visuals that make sense, right? If in desire 1 you tell them, You want to lose weight because of the woman getting scared that the man might divorce her. And the second desire is that they want to lose weight because of the summer. Obviously, you can't choose the visual of a man with a six-pack in the beach, because this wouldn't relate at all to the desire of not getting divorced. So what I would think right now is maybe a woman on the beach, and in the background you see her man looking at her. Because this relates to two desires at one, right? The woman wants to attract her husband, so we have the husband in the back, right, for the desire. And she's on the beach with the perfect body. But the second desire is to look better again in the summer. And so we have a picture of a woman with the perfect body on the beach, but this also targets our desire of getting the perfect summer body. Because the man now just disappeared in the background and we don't really pay attention to him if our desire is getting the perfect body. But this differentiates through our copy because we actually target the desire. So now the whole framing of each ad with the same visual shifted completely, because the first copy might have started with 3 months ago I had a terrible shape, I was out in touch with my body, I wasn't even trying to buy a bikini because I was so afraid of embarrassing myself. But our second copy for our second desire might have started with 3 months ago my husband didn't look at me like this when we were on the beach. But now that I lost weight and have the perfect body, he looks again at me with the fire in his eyes. These are just some copies I freestyle right off the bat, but it's essentially just to show you the concept. Now that we have created our campaign and we eliminated the variable of the visuals and the concept because we essentially have the same concept, the only thing influencing our performance is actually the desire. I would actually recommend letting this campaign run for at least 3 days, with the average order value as your daily ad spend at least. Well, how can we actually analyze the metrics after our 3 days? Well, if you launch a CBO, the best performing desires might have gotten your best ad spend. However, if you notice that for another desire they have less ad spend, but better metrics, way better metrics, then you should let your campaign run a bit because you don't have enough data. But in total, the ads that hit your KPIs you set up before you launch the campaign, obviously, because you don't want to lose money on Facebook. For example, your break-even return on ad spend. If the desires hit the KPIs, you are good, you can take that desire, it's a winning desire, and you iterate and create new ads around it. With new concepts, you test different concepts, new ad strategies. But if another desire also hit your KPIs, you are actually break even or profitable with 2 desires. You have 2 winning desires, and there's no shame in riding the wave of 2 desires, right? Because why should we only choose 1 desire when actually 2 are profitable for our store? So you should actually create multiple ads around your 2 best desires if you have 2 winning desires. However, if you don't have 1 winning ad in your whole campaign you launched, there are a few different reasons. First of all, your copy may be bad or your visual is bad. However, if you actually put an effort into your long form copy and your visuals, it's simple that just your desire is not good enough. So it doesn't sparkle any emotion in your customers, right, that see your ad, and you should actually cut all 3 desires and do your research again. However, this only applies if you're not completely bad at writing copies and you picked out visuals that are actually scroll stopping, so they have pattern interruption and actually catch attention. But if the metrics, for example your cost per click and click-through rate is good enough, your landing page might actually be bad. So the people go onto your website with the intention, right, I want to solve this desire. Then they click on your landing page and just see your product. So you have a funnel misalignment. Because they click on your ad with the expectation that they understand more about the possible reason and see an actual solution. But if they click on your ad and just see your product, you haven't adjusted your funnel well enough, and you should actually work on your landing page and your whole customer journey. Also, if you are still unprofitable with your store, I'd highly recommend joining Scaling Ecom. It's my online community, and basically with each member I hop onto one-on-one consulting calls, work out an exact execution plan. Then you have the Scaling Ecom framework. For example, Timothy hit his first $1,000 a day. No, it's actually $2,000 a day. And then you also have free access to Ecom tools and bonuses. So this is my baby. I put in so much effort into this community. So if you're a bit interested, I leave the link to the online community in the description. It's the first link in the description, and I really look forward to texting you on Scaling Ecom. If not, it's a bye for now, but I will see you in my next video.